Alright, we outside. How y'all doing today? And on today's video, normally I'd be saying we're playing anime defenders, but we're actually going to be making a tier list. Because, one, we haven't made a tier list in forever, and two, there's lots of new units. And I want to list them and show y'all which ones you should and shouldn't be getting. But, let's hop right into the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to see more like this. Let's go, baby! Alright, so to start off, we have all of the portal units from all of the recent portals. Lunar Empress, arguably, not even arguably, this is the highest DPS in the entire game currently. Then we have Dragon Mage, right behind Lunar Empress, obviously. Now, I am going to be putting them in order up here, so it's going to be Lunar Empress is the best, and then Dragon Mage, and just like that. Next, we have Solar Overlord. I'm probably going to put him in B tier, honestly, because his damage just isn't there. I thought he would have gotten a buff next update, but he still is just as bad. It's not like Lunar Empress, nowhere close. So I put it B, maybe low A, but about right there. Demon Overlord, don't go for him. He's not a good unit. He's probably one of the worst secrets in the entire game right now. So I'll put him in C tier. Cursed Berserk Paladin, probably high A or low S, just because the fact that he crits and he is a really good unit. He is a pretty solid unit. I believe he's full ground, but he is full AoE, so that makes him insanely good. We got Egress. I'll still put Egress up top. He is getting a little bit older, I should say, but his 20% increased damage for the unit that he applies with Fear is really good also. Gojo. Slide Gojo right there. Really good support unit. High DPS. He's just an all-around really good unit. Demon King. I'll put Demon King probably behind Solar Overlord. He's probably in between high C or B right there, because his slow, it's not, it's alright. Sim Jong-woo. Honestly, I'll put SJW in S tier. Maybe even S+. The reason I say that is because a Phoenix Realm really did great things for him. Because borrowed enemies is really good, and his summons can also hit air units. So therefore, that makes SJW a lot better than what he originally was. So I might want to actually put Cursed Berserker Paladin up here with SJW because of that reason. Hikari. Slide Hikari in A tier. Reasonable. Not too bad. Actually, I'll put him right here. He's alright. He's not a crazy unit, but he's a ground. So if you want to use him for the Phoenix Realm, he'll be about right here, but in game, he's not the best of units. Grand Aether Knight. Probably A tier, just because he's really cheap, and you could place him the second you get into the game, which is just insanely good to have, and super nice. But now we start entering into our row of people from the newer updates, or from the Phoenix Realm update, I should say. We have Sage Deity. He's terrible. He is a horrible unit. Not good at all. That right here, it doesn't really matter where he goes. If they're in C or lower, I don't recommend going for them. These two sections right here, S, A, and S+, I recommend going for these units up here. Grand Aether Knight is also really cheap to trade. So if you do want a solid unit that's hybrid and lots of placement, I do recommend going for him. Alright, so next we have Poseidon. I'm going to slide him S+. Right here with Gojo. They're both about the same, Gojo and Poseidon. So which either one you go for. Obviously Poseidon is a little bit easier to get, but Poseidon does lots of damage. He is a 3 placement unit, so I would arguably say Requiem is better. People say Almighty's better, but hear me out. Almighty only buffs 280% damage, while Requiem is 35% damage for each unit placed down. So he's doing over 102,000 damage with the Requiem. So I'm just saying, I believe Requiem is better on Poseidon, and you could place more of him, which means he has more range and his slow can apply easier and across the map better. Next we have Gilgamesh. I'm putting him in front of Dragon Mage. Now, listen, I know some of you guys may be saying, why are you putting in front of Dragon Mage? He's nowhere near as good as Dragon Mage. Well, I just want you to listen to this. Dragon Mage, his burn damage is only 40% his base damage, while Gilgamesh's bleed damage is 100% his base damage, which means he does 2x damage even if he doesn't have Almighty. He's doing twice as much damage with his bleed. And on top of that, you could put Crimson Spirit on him. But if you get True Spirit, Pink Rockstar buff, fully maxed out, all that stuff, level 90, he'll be doing around 830,000 damage. Which is insane. Keep in mind that is with his bleed. Because True Spirit gives you 75%, his bleed gives you 100%, and then Pink Rockstar gives you 20%. So that's 195% more damage. Which is crazy amounts of damage right there. But next up, we got Gale Archer. Obviously, he's a mythic. Most mythics aren't the best in the game. But you're probably gonna more than likely end up getting these 3 mythics right here because they're new and they're in the Phoenix Realm banner. Next we got Shadow Master. A tier. Honestly, A tier. I could say this is better than these units right here. I don't know so much about Sage Deity. I think he might be a little bit better. I don't think he deserves to be all the way down there. But it doesn't matter. Don't go for Sage Deity. But we're talking about a Shadow Master here. With Almighty, he does about 126,000 damage, but his burn is actually 40% his base damage. So if you get Dragon Mage buff and Crimson Spirit, he actually does like 259,000 damage. If you watch my YouTube video before when I showcased him, he does insane amounts of damage. So I'm just saying, he is actually a very good unit. Celestial Key Warrior, he's not the best. Doesn't matter where I put him, because they're mythics, and mythics don't really apply to right now. Besides, Shadow Master is actually insanely good. He's highly slept on, but he is actually a very good unit. And he is hybrid. Kaiju number 8. The man right here. See, now, I'm probably going to put him right here. Not because he does lots of damage, because he's a really good support unit. That 15% less SPA, like 20% more range, is really good. And he's a really high DPS. So honestly, if you want to get good at the game and get really good units, you need Kaiju number 8. He's meta for every single team. You need him. Now we have Legion Captain. I'll probably put Legion Captain about like right here. And the reason I say that is because she does have an ability, which is really nice. And that's the main reason why she's good. And she can summon people, but the summons aren't really super strong, like Sing Jong Woo's, for example. But now we got Dark Subversion, which is Sid from Eminence in the Shadow. I don't really like his damage. I'm gonna be honest, his ground damage, like he's a ground unit, and his damage isn't the best. It's really not that pretty. But his ability, that's good. That's really good. So I'll probably put him in between Gojo and up here, so somewhere up here. Most of the units that are in S Plus are all about, like they all have their own thing that they're good at, and their own damage output and all things of that sort. But these 3 units right here, these are the top 3 highest DPS in the entire game. So if you want to do mass amounts of damage, I recommend going for Lunar, Gilgamesh, and Dragon Mage. They're all really good units for leaderboard runs. And if you want to do a leaderboard run, you need Kaiju. You need him. He's not an option, you need him. and you got Poseidon and Gojo. They all do their own thing. So S+, these are the units I would obviously recommend you getting the most. Then we have Blood Phantom. Once again, his damage isn't really there, but his ability, once you max him out, is pretty damn good. What it does is it buffs all the enemies in his range by 70% damage, but if you use a buff, like for example, if you use a pink Rockstar buff, while his buff is currently being activated, it's going to debuff the enemy for 20% damage. So it's a little bit confusing, but once you get your head wrapped around it, you know how it works. He could be a pretty good unit. So for that reason, I would put him high S, somewhere around here. About like right there. He's a pretty good unit. Same along with Shadow Master. I'm not really too sure about Curse, Berserker, Paladin. I'm a little bit on the fences with him. Maybe right here, but once again, you can move him around to whichever way you want. I don't really recommend going for this Portal unit or any of these other guys down here, but definitely these ones up top, like I said before. We got these Legion, Assassin Master, you know, so, like they're support units. These ones aren't really anything crazy, and these are just low DPS. They're like rare and epics and legendaries. These two right here aren't really anything crazy. They're just the new exclusive units. But yeah, I believe that's all we got. Also, I could quickly say the two leaderboard units, these two, Rimuru and Darkness King. I don't remember who this is, but leaderboard units are never really good. I guess I could word it like that. They're not really good units, but they're just hard to obtain and their value is really high up there. So I can say these two units that definitely, if you want to get rich and you want to get money and you want to go for some of these units and trade these, go for leaderboard runs. But it's hard because, you know, you need these units to do the leaderboard runs. But these units, in-game wise, definitely do not use them. But they are worth a lot, cool to have. And you can make really high profit off of them. Alright, so that'll be all that we have for you guys today. I just really wanted to quickly go over the units and which are good and which are bad and which you should go for and which you shouldn't go for. But make sure you guys join the Discord server down the link below, because once I hit 500 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away 500 trait crystals. Same along with when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away 1,000 trait crystals. So make sure y'all join that Discord. But don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos like this one. We inside now. I'll see you on the next one. Smooches.